Thank you very much. First, with regard to Mr. Zuma, in terms of the response, we have not checked the correspondence yet. It is possible that there is a response. It is equally possible that there may be no response at all. Whether there is a response or no, there is a response or no response, the ANC, in terms of its statute, guided by the Constitution, in terms of what it has followed, in terms of the resolution of the NEC, it stands. The no response or response, the NEC will follow the Constitution to the latter. And the decision of the National Executive Committee will be enforced and will be implemented. That decision has been announced publicly, as it is partly a requirement of our Constitution. You can announce the decision publicly. You can communicate the decision by way of writing or telephonically. So all of the above have been done in terms of this matter of the suspension of former President Jacob Zuma. As step aside has not changed. We have tabled the guidelines on step aside as adopted by the previous NEC, and they are upheld by the current NEC as the guidelines that guide us on the step aside rule. Members of the ANC who are on the step aside and are doing work for the ANC in different forms and across the country and all of that, it is upon them, and at the same time working with the structures to avail themselves to do the work of the organization. But in this particular instance, the guidelines and at the same time the step-aside rule is what is guiding us in relation to this particular matter. And there are many of ANC members who are on the step-aside who have just been disciplined and going on with their business, and whenever they are called upon to assist, some of them have been there to actually do the work. It is across the country, not only in KZN, but they have not done anything that seeks to undermine the rule itself. We are operationalizing step-aside rule of the ANC for a year now or two thus far. So we learn also from experience. And the NEC reflected briefly on this in the NEC. So going forward, implementing the rule guided by the guidelines on this matter will continuously evaluate. Because even step aside as it is, some of the things that have been reflected upon is that if you don't have a position, what happens to you? Because step aside means step aside only from those who've got positions. If you are a minister, for instance, you are implicated, you step aside. But if you don't have a position, you are an ordinary member. So what does step aside mean for you? So these are some of the things as we strengthen ourselves as a party in relation to matters of integrity and ethical conduct. We are examining as we implement this particular rule. So these are some of the things that the NEC have flagged, and we will continuously reflect on and deal with as we move forward. Premiers are not announced by the president. It's a decision of the ANC. The ANC have taken a decision, with the exception of Western Cape. We will announce premiers after the election. We don't attach significance to personalities. We've got premiers now. We are the incumbent. Our premiers are there and they are doing a good job. So if you want to judge the performance of the ANC, we are not like a party that has resurfaced 2 weeks ago, that want to establish itself in society by announcing premiers. We have had premiers for the past 30 years or so in government. And even now, as we speak, here in Gauteng, we've got one of the best premiers in the country. So if you want to challenge us, you will challenge our premier here. So you will have to announce your own candidate. So the ANC is an incumbent. It is the ANC that is challenged in its incumbency by political parties, small and big, and they announce their premier candidates. But our approach as a party is that premiers are premiers of the ANC, and as a result, we don't attach significance to the personalities in this instance, as much as personalities play a role, but to us, it is the party that leads, and the president of the ANC is the face of that campaign. So that's why you will not find a poster of a premier in Gauteng, a poster of a premier in KwaZulu-Natal and everywhere else. You have one poster of President Ramaphosa. So thank you for the question nonetheless. So we attach exceptionalism to Western Cape because there we don't have premier. We are not in power and we are challenging the DA. So perhaps there we may want to deal with the issue as the NEC guided with the premiership before the election itself, because it is Alan Winder and the DA, and they want to change Cape Town to become a country. So it is very important that we need to challenge the DA in the Western Cape. So we are looking at that, and very soon, once those discussions are finalized in terms of the ANC, we may want to announce a premier candidate for the Western Cape. Newsroom. There are many rumors about, and if we were to entertain rumors that are malicious, and some of them is the work of what we call as the ANC counter-revolution. So when somebody wake up in this country and say, Lady R supplied arms to Russia, it's a rumor. Government goes and investigate that, and others say, why do you investigate? Because this clearly is not true. Given the stature of Russia as a country and its armaments prowess, it is unimaginable that South Africa could be supplying arms to a country like that. Actually, we can only be accused of supplying arms to Ukraine, which is a smaller country in this particular instance. But we're accused of supplying arms to Russia. Given our work and subtle diplomacy and our foreign policy, we had to take steps with regard to that. You can see clearly that, and there was no truth at the end with regard to Lady R. There was a judge appointed. It was just a rumor and a malicious rumor that was just painting South Africa badly, and by an ambassador. Now, here is a rumor, faceless, coming from the media, circles, left and right, asking questions. If there is a country or a diplomat or anybody who accuses us of having received money from Iran, who is that person today? We will expect such accusations to come from the Zionist state of Israel, because they are hurt by the stance we have taken, which is a stance in solidarity with the Palestinians and calling on them to stop the genocide. So they vow to do everything in their power to vandalize, maim, and at the same time deal with the South African government. Through the rabbis, very backward people, fascist sentiment has emerged from those cycles. But it is not clear where does this come from and how. it's a cut and paste. Because of this has happened, and then this has happened. It is amazing how journalists are prepared to go at length to publish the rumors that have got no face or have got no standing of an organization behind the rumors like that. Just the cut and paste, and all of that. And then it is put to the forth. It becomes news that the ANC got money here and there and all of that. So it remains a rumor which has got no basis. The ANC stance does not start today. You all know about it. In fact, the ANC, if it did not take the stance it has taken, we should be accused as this leadership under Ramaphosa today as a sellout leadership of the ANC, which have sold on the Palestinian people and their cause because of where we come from. Before Nelson Mandela, we can quote Oliver Tambo, we can quote Albert Lutuli on the Palestinian question. ANC has been very consistent because it's a reflection of our ethos, who we are. When we talk about internationalism, what do we stand for? In fact, it's an insult for anybody to think that the ANC is bored to espouse a particular decision. Bravely so. Now, this is a manifestation of counter-revolution because it comes faceless through the media. Then the media becomes the spokesperson of counter-revolution, faceless rumor like that there is this and so on. At least with the Lady R, there was a face of a man with a bow tie who made an allegation and jeopardized and brought his state to disrepute. The fact that he's still in our country is unbelievable. That how arrogant other states can be. That an ambassador in a particular country can make terrible accusations to a sovereign state, and there are no consequences for that. And there is no report that says anything till today. American public representatives, and it's not the first time. I remember when I was Minister of Sports, another one said we bought the World Cup. And they could not prove it till today that we bought the World Cup. I was a minister. They said we bought the World Cup because somebody who died said so. And then that's it. It ended there. And then today we were asked about the rumor. Is it true that the ANC got? You attach the face. You say, so and so from this part is saying the ANC got money and this is how we got money. And money exchange hands between so and so. And then that's it. So we won't go to Iran these days because we're going to fetch money. According to these rumors. We have been open, we declare to the IEC the money we get. Other political parties don't declare. The smallest political parties, this morning I went to Krugersdorp. I drove to Krugersdorp from downtown Johannesburg, back and forth to Krugersdorp. I saw the posters of Rise Mzansi. They beat us on the postering, ourselves, EFF and DA. Hey, these people have got money. And they get the biggest share of interviews on radio news. These people have never been into power. They are not in power. They are not in parliament. So who should enjoy the biggest share of publicity? Because they've proven they've got constituency. Steenhuisen has got constituency with his madness and all of that, and the things that he says that are unthinkable and racist. But he represents that constituency. Malema has got a constituency. I've got a constituency. You are not shocked when you see me having to enjoy as a party that is in power, that leads, and all of that. But these other parties, yes, it's a democratic dispensation. Where did they prove themselves? It's a discourse. It's a debate on its own. You don't ask them where they get the money. They don't declare to anybody. Proliferation of political parties in our country sponsored by certain interests out of the country, including with interest of driving regime change in the country. You never ask the question, where do they get the money from? Nothing wrong, but why don't you ask, where do they get the money from? They are fleshy. They do things, that are done by political parties that have been in power for some time. But when the EFF had the rally in FNB, there were big questions about where did they get the money from, how much did it cost. When the ANC have a rally, you never ask the DA. Never. You have never asked, where do they get the money from? They declare they get the money. We declare. We and the DA, we declare. But this question is only reserved for the ANC. And not even legit, but based on rumors, falsehood, and lies. Simply because we've taken a stand that a particular state in the Middle East that is killing people, because of their prowess in terms of artificial intelligence and all of that, now a lie is spread all over the country about ANC and its government. How do you buy a government like our government to take a stance like that? How do you buy? It's an insult to the people of this country and its leadership. So I don't want even to dignify this thing with veracity of whether it is true or not. Clearly, it is a fabricated story to interpret a particular line and define and undermine our position, which is principled and which has been there over years, as nothing else but a position of people who have sold their souls elsewhere in the world. And we are on the side of justice. More than 16 people in a court, international, agree with us. Individuals, one state says no, we are wrong. We went there, argued our case, and our judges, independent, agreed with us. Here in South Africa, what did the media say? South Africa will lose. And I saw them deleting tweets after the judgment. Peter Bruce was the first, deleting tweets. They are weak. Because everything that is done in this government must be slotted in the context of an election campaign to undermine the ANC. They will never win against ICJ. We knew that we go into ICJ, we can win or lose. But the morality of the story was that we are on the side of people, as we speak now, have been killed. And there is a genocide going on. We are arguing that case in the international court. We are arguing that case, not anywhere else through rhetoric or anything. We are arguing that case with facts in the international court. And we knew that whether we lose or we win, the moral of the story is that Palestine must be free. That's the fundamental issue to us. Palestine must be free. We cannot go on with our business as the world. We in South Africa, we are happy, we are free from apartheid, yet there are people oppressed by Morocco in Western Sahara, and there are people oppressed by Israel in Palestine. And then we say we live in a world where everybody must just look away and then forget what is happening there. Nobody forgot us when we were oppressed. Nobody asked, how many years will it take for apartheid to be defeated? People were determined to say no to apartheid, free South Africa. And we stand there as South Africa today. The terms of reference are there in terms of the Integrity Commission. The terms of reference guide the Integrity Commission so that the Integrity Commission is a committee of the National Executive Committee. Once it is done with its work and recommendations, it reports to the SG, who the SG then report to the NEC. the work of the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is informed by the terms of reference on the decisions that they take on the merit of each case. So the National Executive Committee finalized the terms of reference. Samkele, on the Zuma response, I've responded adequately on that. Whether there is a response or no response, the Constitution stands and the decision stands. Already, I think you have already read the response from President Zuma in one rally in eThekwini. You have already responded, but in Zulu. So I can forward it to you. I will forward it to you. And he was making examples there but to the effect that he will not accept to be taken out of the house he's fighting in the way he is fighting. So politically we agree with that. We don't agree with that stance. He has transgressed and we're taking him on. So we're subjecting matters to that particular process. The EFF stepped us at the EFF is not our ally, in a sense, in all these coalitions. We have taken a decision in relation to the EFF and the coalitions we have with them. We are looking at those decisions. We will convene a special meeting probably next week virtually so that I prepare you. There will be a virtual meeting which we will finalize our work on coalitions and so on. And we'll give a report publicly with regard to that. Obviously, the EFF stance in terms of coalitions and the ANC it's a very dangerous one. It's very dangerous because it is the ANC that seems to be begging with the cap in the hand to the EFF in these coalitions. There's no principle. There is no honesty, there is no loyalty in terms of this agreement. So EFF is what is called the kingmaker. They can agree with you today, they can work with the DA and everybody else against the ANC and so on, based on whatever grievance. So if you are coalition partners, you have to ventilate issues in a meeting and talk about issues and your displeasure. You don't decide that tomorrow because that affects service delivery. But overall, we have said as the ANC that these coalitions have not worked for the people of South Africa. Coalitions is an outcome of a democratic process, the elections, meaning that people have not come out in their numbers, low voter turnout, you produce coalitions. Meaning there is no winner takes all. It doesn't work. Commit a party to power so that that party can be accountable. In this particular instance, you see potholes in Johannesburg. When I came from Krugersdorp in this trip, they are now vandalizing the graves here in Johannesburg. And then I asked, where is the municipality? Here in Johannesburg. The robots, because there is load shedding, are controlled by these chaps who sleep in the street, our brothers there. And they control robots, they are not trained. They control the movement of cars. It was good camaraderie at the beginning, but now it really showcases a state that is in a state of disaster and collapse. Johannesburg was never like that. There was a cooperation between the private sector, JMPD. They were working very well. Whenever the robots collapse, there will be that company, I don't want to mention by name, insurance company. They are doing professional, splendid job in terms of controlling the traffic, especially in the afternoon when there was no. Now, a local government where you are seized with the matter of coalitions and you are a local government that is faced with a larger congestion of cars on the roads, you obviously have got to plan for that. You've got to plan for that. When the robots are off, you have to control traffic. Now, it doesn't happen. Now, our brothers who are here in the streets and all of that, it has been left to them. You know, those are signs of ungovernability. You just accept something that is wrong, that they let it be done. Nobody planned it. You stop there, you give them money for coke and drink, they get something, they control traffic. Government of Johannesburg has just collapsed. It leaves something like that to chance, and then it is normal. You get to normalize that. That's coalitions. Who are you going to blame? They will say it's the EFF ANC coalition, but the ANC in this coalition doesn't control anything. We don't have a mayor. The only thing we control here is the disbursement of funds and money. But the transport here is controlled by the EFF, by the PA, and then other things are controlled by the EFF. I see the EFF MMC from time to time. He tries his best. I see him most of the time. He even argues with Panyaza last time here across the street. Panyaza arrived even before them. They are sleeping on the job. The mayor had to be awakened. You don't know where was he sleeping. Here he come. The buildings are falling apart. Panyaza had to come. They had to fight with Panyaza. Why did you arrive there before us? Local government. They are fighting with the premier. No. They started to argue. Whose terrain is this? People are dying here. What if the MMC has gone on holidays and so on? So Panya arrived with these people there and all of that, which is what public representatives must do. But we are running Johannesburg. Johannesburg is the city in Africa, and then it just collapses like that. Roads, we used to have a roads agency here in Johannesburg. Very effective. They are very effective. What happened to those? There is a problem. Coalitions, how they operate, and what brings the state of collapse of municipalities is because when you change the mayor comes with his people. The administration changes. It's not insulated from running the city. Yet in other municipalities, whether the political administration goes, the public servants remain unchanged. Here in Johannesburg, if the mayor tomorrow becomes Mbalula comes with his people, the MMCs come with their own HODs, with new ideas, in a coalition. It's instability. Coalitions are not working for us. And that is why we can't blame it on anybody but ourselves, which is why we work for outright majority in this country. This thing upapata all the time doesn't work in governance, because you've got to be there, given a chance and lead, so that we can hold you accountable. So here now, the situation is different because everybody has got a say. And then all of them hide behind the ANC when it is convenient. Because people on the ground, they don't know these political parties. They know the ANC. I can take you to Soweto, to Diepsloot. They don't even know who's the mayor of Joburg. I can take you there. They blame the ANC. No, the ANC ka Ramaphosa. Ingasnikeza ama-potholes. Uyabona, ile ANC ka Ramaphosa yenza kanje kanje. Hayi, local government, they don't understand. They know they are ANC. And they decide right there and there that I'm not going to vote because the ANC is not delivering. But the ANC is not in power in Joburg. We lost power 10 years ago. Johannesburg and Pretoria and Ekurhuleni. We lost power there. And Nelson Mandela. They fall, those municipalities are in the hands of the opposition. And you can compare between us when we were there and them when they are in charge, like Pretoria. Thank you very much.